Tell me when you feel nice, calm, and relaxed.
I do.
All right, I'm going to have you close your eyes and tell me where you are.
A snowy forest.
Snowy forest.
Like Denver, Pennsylvania, any of those places. So, out east. But I don't think it is.
Do you see anything?
Yes.
What do you see?
A little girl wearing it's not 1800s, but earmuffs, a pretty blue winter coat with a black velvet collar, with a snowball in her hand, which is adorable.
What year is it?
I'm guessing late 1800s, early 1900s.
Who is this little girl to you?
I don't know why it just said, I was going to say I don't know, but also Kathleen, my cousin that died, popped up, her name. Doesn't look like her, but except for the blonde hair. So the girl's much, much, much younger.
So you see the name Kathleen written out?
In Westerner, I see her face. Wow. I remember her face very well.
Do you hear anything?
No, but Kathleen's face won't get off my screen.
When you say off your screen, you mean in your mind, right? What you're seeing, a vision? Okay. And it's still the same girl. Is anything changing?
No, she's coming closer. She's got those, instead of snowballs, she's got those, as children we used to have this warm muffler thing you put both hands in, like the Russians have. My mother used to get those for us for wintertime. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're really, really nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So, she's just coming closer. She's got curls. I think curled their hair in the 1800s, early 1900s.
What is she handing you?
Actually, nothing. At first, it was a snowball, but she was at a distance. Looked like she was going to throw it. And now she's got this, I forget what they call that, the muffler thing.
Is she your cousin in this life?
I know Kathleen's face appeared and her name actually written, but she doesn't look like her at the face. But maybe she is. Why else would Kathleen and her name appear? I can't imagine who else it could be. There's a difference in the face, but...
Yeah, it's a different life. It's a different timeline.
Yes. It's weird that Kathleen, also her face and her name, printed really fancy underneath her.
What is the color of her hair?
The little girl's is blonde.
Right. So it's blonde?
Mm-hmm. With curls. The ringlets.
What are the...
Not Shirley Temple. Her hair's a little longer with nice curls.
What are the color of her eyes?
Green.
Green. Do you think this little girl is related to you?
She could be a long, long cousin. I don't know.
Well, just because Kathleen was your cousin in this life, it doesn't mean she was your cousin in that life.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm trying to get a feel for you instead of you logically trying to make this make sense, because somehow this girl is either Kathleen from a past life or this is I guess no, this is what I'm trying to say. This is Kathleen from a past life, but I don't believe us to look the same in past lives.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, she's a lot younger, though. This is a child. Kathleen was in her 20s when she died.
Right. So she died young.
Mm-hmm. Very young, yeah.
What is the little girl doing now?
Nothing, just looking around.
Are you able to talk to her? Are you able to walk up to her? How does this vision...
I think I could. I think I can.
Okay, can you try it out and let me know?
But on myself, I'm in my 20s and 30s.
How do you know this?
Because I could see part of my face. And I'm bending over to say hi to her. So I'm definitely an adult.
You're an adult. What are you wearing?
Well, I have brown hair, but I would say that. I have boots on, a long coat. It looks like a turtleneck. But what's interesting, I don't know if it's my imagination or not, you know, like when you get like a double decker, like you know how you look right there, and then it changes really fast, like a murder mystery.
Yes.
So when it changes, I'm a peasant, like I'm wearing like an 1800s, early 1800s outfit that they wore, not the rich ones, but just a regular, like that show, I forget, Melissa Gilbert was in, that type of outfit.
No, I know what you're talking about, so continue.
Weird. Okay. I'm asking how she is. And I'm talking to her like a little baby, you know, like a baby would.
Yeah.
And she keeps telling me to look over there. I'm trying to look, but I don't see anything. Oh, she's taking my hand.
Uh-huh.
What is she leading me to? I keep smiling down at her. She keeps looking up at me. Maybe they're not green eyes. I don't know. But they're definitely light eyes. It's like an old Victorian house with black pointy fences, like they had in the 1800s.
Uh-huh. Does this house look familiar to you?
No, not at all.
You don't recognize it?
I don't recognize it at all.
What is she showing you about this house?
But the lights are on. There's candles in the window. Like, come in. She keeps pointing.
So go on in.
The door opens, but it's just telling me to go in, the lady. But I don't recognize the older lady at all.
So an older lady is in this home?
Yes.
Does she own the home? Who is she?
I think so. She wants to take off her boots.
What does she look like?
She knows the little girl.
So she knows you?
She knows the little girl.
What about you?
She's not saying anything religious to me. She just keeps looking. And she invites us over to a table. It's kitchen. Maybe it's my nana or grandmother. I don't know.
From another life?
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't look like they're them, but they both baked cookies. I smell cookies.
Oh.
A little bit.
You smell
just
cookies?
Just a little bit, like a fragrance of it. Something smells really good. And I know both of them. made really good. My grandmother always made M&M cookies, and then my nana made chocolate chip cookies. All made from scratch. I don't know about Nana, but they were good. Grandma's were really good.
Is your grandfather there?
No, I don't see a man.
What do you see in this house? Do you recognize anything in this house maybe from another past life?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Where's this little girl?
Sitting next to me at the table.
Can you ask her?
What am I asking her?
Whose house is this?
Oh, okay. She tells me it's mine. It's not mine.
Can you ask her something else? Who is she?
My daughter, which she's not. Maybe from a different lifetime. No.
Can you ask her?
I think it's just my mind. Just go ahead.
Can you ask her, where do you guys live?
Right there. Why? Right here. Giggles.
Can you hear her when she speaks, or are you feeling? Yes. Does her voice sound familiar to you?
No.
You've never heard her voice before?
No.
Huh.
She definitely has mannerisms of yours.
Can you ask her another question?
Yes.
What are you guys waiting for?
For Daddy to come home.
What does Daddy do? Can you ask her?
I'm about a bank and a logs. She's talking about wooden logs. Thanks. Granddaddy. It's not Daddy, it's Granddaddy. He's got glasses on like from the 1800s.
Can you ask her or him what year it is?
1809. What does that mean?
What are they doing?
He's standing up with a keychain, like a clock, a watch that hangs from your pocket, a pocket watch. She's just standing in the kitchen looking. And the little girl's just smiling. And I'm like bewildered in a way, but smiling too.
Where did your grandmother go?
She's still there, but it doesn't look like my grandmother. My Nana. It's my Nana.
So your grandfather looks like himself in this life?
Yes. but my grandma does not. My Nana does not whatsoever.
What is her name, and what's his name? What's your daughter's name in this life?
Anna is the Nana. Scarlet Joe, that doesn't make sense to me, is the girls. She starts laughing. Oh my God. Edward. Oh boy.
What?
No, there was a lot of wind in our background and interrupted my thoughts.
What is your Nana's name in this life?
Anna.
Anna. Okay. What is the surname? Like, what is your last name in this life? And what is your name? Can you ask her?
Hannah.
Your name is Hannah.
Yes.
And what is your last name?
McDougal Owens. I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
What country do you guys live in?
United States.
What state?
Oh my God, my thing just went. Do you feel that? That was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Um.
Is that Mommy? Yeah. Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Wyoming or PA? Pennsylvania. Like more like Pennsylvania, but I don't know. Wyoming has a lot of trees and forests. This house is definitely not a Wyoming house. This is like a Victorian. And that would be more early 1800s in a lot of the states. Well, whichever ones were still discovered yet, you know.
What is Hannah like?
That's me.
Can you ask your daughter?
She's silly. I'm silly. Right. She's laughing. Oh, I'm mean. I can be mean. I don't know. This isn't making sense to me. I think I'm just imagining it myself.
Okay, we can move past this part of the reading.
Two little Owens. Who the hell? That's my grandfather, I see. The little girl, I don't know. I know I saw Kathleen's face, not a little girl.
Can you ask your grandfather what he does for a living in this life? How does he make money?
Something about a bank. And then the loggins. So I don't know what the logs mean.
Something about the logs and the bank.
Oh, so it could be, I'm thinking wood logs, like they did in PA many, a century ago. They were a logging country, state, and then maybe it's logs that you write in a bank. You know how you write back then? They used to write, like a ledger.
Did you say he was holding a key?
A watch, a pocket watch. Sometimes that key's to open them, but not really. It was a tiny, tiny, little thing that opened up the pocket watch.
Can you ask your grandfather, do you have any other children?
Yes, 3 more. Oh, I wonder if this is... Yeah, it could be. Anyway.
What is it that you just saw?
I thought maybe it was Maddie's side of the family. All of a sudden. But that can't be with me.
What do you mean by this?
Like, in other words, her father, I think it was Frank Edward. He was very smart, but Frank did not work in a bank.
He was a linguist.
Yes, he was a linguist, but also the mother used to save every penny, and they'd buy rundown houses. And
So,
she and Frank would... What?
Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
She and Frank would fix them up and rent the cab tenants. And that's how they started to acquire a little money.
So,
this is after, yeah.
Are you seeing them right now? There's a reason why you randomly mentioned them. It wasn't out of nowhere. It wasn't out of thin air.
Yeah, the Frank part.
You saw him.
Yeah. Just for 2 seconds. That's why I thought, oh, wait a minute, 3 children. Okay, I think they had 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. So that would be 4 of me.
Can you ask Scarlet Joe, where are your other children?
No, they're not my children. They're my siblings. It's my grandfather that's in that room, not my father. It would be like relatives, huh?
Oh, I thought you said before you have 3 more kids.
No. 3 more is what I asked Granddaddy. Do you have more children? He said 3 more.
Oh,
and that's why some reason it came to Frank for 2 seconds. And Frank would have been your grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay. So, can you ask Scarlet Joe, where is her dad?
Yes. She said far away. Let me ask if it's work. I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
Okay. Are there any other questions you want to ask anybody in the room that's with you right now?
Yes. Scarlet Joe.
No. Well, I said, are there any questions you feel intuitively that you should be asking anybody in that room right now before we leave the room?
Yeah, how are we related? Am I Hannah? And how are we related? Are you really my Nana and grandfather?
Who should you ask this to?
And who was that? Is that really my daughter? All of them, each one of them.
So do it.
Okay.
They're there.
Let me ask Scarlet Joe first. She's just calling me silly. Okay, let me see.
She's a child.
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful. My grandfather's saying 2nd generation removed, and Nana's saying 3rd generation. Okay, so that's wouldn't make sense. Okay, it would with Granddaddy, but not for my Nana, because that would be, that's how long they all lived.
What did you ask? What was the question you asked them to get that response?
Are you my Nana and Granddaddy? And how, that was it.
Okay.
I don't think I asked. Wait a minute. How do I wait? Oh, I asked them.
Why don't you re-ask them?
I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. You're there. They're there. Nothing's changing about this. You're good. They're good. There isn't a rush. So why don't you re-ask the question again? You want to ask, put the intent out there clearly, and just ask one question. Wait till you get the answer. We'll discuss it, and then you can ask the next question to whoever.
Okay, we're not going to ask Scarlett Joe because we know we're going to get silly answers.
Yeah,
okay.
She's like 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, this is funny. Okay, let's see.
So, just so I'm on the same page with you, what is the question you're going to ask, and who are you going to ask this to?
First one is Nana. Are you my Nana? Are you really my Nana?
Okay.
Oh, she's my grandmother. Okay. She's not my Nana. Okay. Let me ask my granddaddy. Yeah, it's my granddaddy.
Okay. So this is interesting. We have a mix of different families clearly going on because you saw Nudmama's father come in, and this is literally in this current life, in real life, not your blood family, but this is your ex-husband's grandfather, late grandfather. Okay, you saw him in the room for a little bit, and now you're seeing your grandfather, but then also not his wife in this current life, but your father's mother. So you're seeing your mother's father and your father's mother.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I get it now. Now, when you got that clarity from your grandmother, did anything physically change with her?
No, my grandmother was the opposite of what I'm seeing. Was only 4'11" and short, very short. This woman's tall, thin. Looks like the grandma and the hillbillies. Exactly that, but without the glasses.
So the imagery did not change. The older woman still looks the same. Okay, just making sure.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Can you walk around this house?
I'm sure I can get out. I sat down in the chair. I'm sure I can.
Who do you think is more vocal in this life? Your grandmother seemed to help you. Can you ask?
She's very quiet, and she always was. It's so funny. Granddad's actually more vocal right now, and he's a very quiet man, too. It's not funny, I have the two quietest people, where Nana was very, very vocal.
Okay, so whichever one you want to ask, just let me know before. Can you ask either one of them, what do you do for a living? Do you work? And what do you do?
I did already ask. The banks. The bank.
You work. You.
Yeah, I asked him. What?
Oh, okay. I thought this was
I asked my granddaddy what he did, not me.
We're gonna go back into that room, into that house, and we're gonna ask your grandfather, what do you do for a living?
What I do for a living.
Yeah, what do you do? Do
Okay.
you work?
No, of course not.
Okay. Now, what about your husband? Can you ask your grandfather, what does your husband do for a living? Where is he? And what's his name?
Oh, he's also a banker. And he rides the train to, or whatever they called them back then, to the city. Oh, so it must be PA. It's not a long commute. Okay. Benjamin.
Oh, the fridge just went off. What is he?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Interesting.
Why is that interesting?
Oh, no, I'm just curious. Can you ask your grandfather, do you have any other children?
No.
Okay. Can you ask him, what state do you live in?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's pretty specific.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you ask him, do you have gifts?
Does he have gifts or me?
You.
How would he know if I have gifts? That's not something you share with certain people.
Can you ask him?
Yes. Yes.
Can you ask him what you're able to do?
Look into people's eyes and know what is going to happen to them. Hold the hands. And I can see things. What? He doesn't tell most people what I can do.
What did he just say?
He doesn't tell most people what I can do.
Can you ask him, why is it a secret?
Oh, they think I'm crazy or a witch. Interesting.
So then, can you ask him, do you do anything with these abilities? Do you help anybody?
When people are near death, I help them. Oh, okay. So I probably help them cross over.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is there anything else you're able to do?
No, He's just saying make him feel better.
Make them feel better. Okay.
Yes.
What about your daughter? Can you ask him? Does she have any gifts?
We don't talk about it. Okay, so she has gifts. I'm asking what type. Wait. He's saying, here's little mumbo. Give me a second. Can see things around people.
What was that?
She can see things around people when she's with them.
Did you see anything?
No. No. I just see her, like, in front of someone, like that she could see something about them. Not a sixth sense. I mean, not a intuition. It's more something that she sees. And maybe they're not good, or they're doing something, or they are going to do something.
Okay. Is that it? Is there?
It's a horrible burden for a child at that age. And she loves animals. Aww.
I have a question. Are you able to leave that house? You know what, actually, before we go there, I want you to ask your grandfather, why are you there? Why did your higher self bring you to this past life right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, it's possible, from what I'm understanding in his language, that he has gifts too. To see that, it runs in the family. The gifts are okay. He's my baby. How much you were always loved. Isn't that interesting?
To let you...
To let me know how much I've always been loved.
It's interesting because I wasn't getting that type of energy from like I was getting the type of energy that that these are your guardian angels, that are coming through. But what else is he telling you before we talk about what I believe?
Everything is right there in front of you. I don't know. Maybe I'm in that house because they all have the gifts. I don't know about my grandmother. She's not saying a word.
Can you ask him? Does she have gifts?
No, but you loved her very much. Oh, which I did. Susan. Oh.
Now that I think of it, aren't these two of your grandparents that are very quiet?
Yes. That's what I was thinking.
They didn't say much.
They don't say much at all. But Grandma, I always really, really liked a lot. She wouldn't say a word. I'm telling you, literally, nothing would come out. Just a smile. So just like my father, or my father looked like her. Almost identical.
Now, you said something very interesting, and I kind of want to get into that while you're still in this room with them. He said something about the gifts, as long as they're used, something like for good, something like that.
Yes.
Can you ask him what he's referring to when he says this?
No witchcraft.
Did he say that and you just didn't mention that?
No, I don't remember that. I just remember somebody said something about witchcraft before, earlier in a conversation. But
witchcraft in this vision, in this room that you're in.
My grandfather is saying you can't use it for witchcraft.
Can you ask him?
That's bad. Yes.
Can you ask him, were you a witch in this life?
No, but people thought I was. Oh, lovely. People can think that I am if I did what I had. I guess. What does that mean? Okay. Let me ask. Wait. Oh, I guess people consider me a witch. Okay.
Can you ask him, where is your mom?
Oh, long gone. Let me ask what that means, besides obvious. Someplace else. That's all I'm getting.
Can you ask him what happened to her?
She's safe. So that people thought she was a witch and it was better for her to go someplace. So he sent her away for now.
When you passed away after this life, what did you learn on the other side?
You want me to ask him that?
Do you think you know, since you're Hannah?
Oh, you asked me as Hannah. Okay. when I passed away, ask the question again, please?
When you passed away, when you died, what did you learn from this life, this current life that you are revisiting? It's a past life. What did you learn? Like, after, I believe that when we die, we have a life review, and we basically see the things, the pros and cons to the whole life, okay? And the life lessons that we learned, but we didn't learn. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me what Hannah learned and what she didn't learn?
The people are no different in this lifetime than the last pastime, life pastime, or however you say it. People sometimes are still scared of the unknown. There's a lot of love out there. Not to be afraid.
To be afraid of what?
Obstacles and people.
Oh, yeah?
Again, Sonny, I don't know if this is me or this is really Hannah.
I'm just curious if you got a little more detail than that.
I didn't.
Uh-huh.
You think I did?
I don't know.
No, I would tell you.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I see, like, as she's fading away, like I know this isn't how she died, but like the stone and like what they used to do to people, they would tie them up and throw rocks at them until they died.
Mm-hmm.
And I just see a glimpse of that, but I don't think they did that in 1800. Oh, they could have, but very, usually it's earlier than that.
Do you want to know?
Yes, go ahead.
Ask your grandfather.
Ask my grandfather what? How she died?
Mm-hmm.
She died in that house, sick.
Mm. So maybe the stoning before was more symbolism as to how your soul felt.
Oh, interesting.
Unless, you can ask him, I know you said you died in that house, but was it from, I don't know, wounds of being stoned? You never know.
He said people did try to come after her, but she died of illness.
Okay. I want you to ask him one more question, and then we're going to leave. How does that life connect to this life? What's the connection here for your life, like, to learn on a soul level?
To continue with the gifts. no matter what someone does or someone says, just believe that you have those gifts and continue to spread those gifts. As far as the soul, like on that level, just give me a second. Continue on. That's what she's saying. Actually, it's not Granddaddy. It's both of them saying something.
What are they saying to you?
To continue on with the gifts. It's important for the soul.
What gifts? Oh.
The gifts that we all have in the family.
So what specific gift is this? What do they want you to continue?
The special gifts, the gifts of healing and the spirituality. Like Hannah was able to help people cross over. That was very, very important. And do good with it.
Yeah, but based off of what you're telling me and your conversation, I don't know what that means for you in this life. Are you supposed to help people cross over?
No, I think I'm supposed to try to bring out my gifts and believe in them.
So it would be more of on a spiritual level for your soul, to feel better instead of denying your gifts, to just be at peace with them and actually believe that you have them instead of doing one of those like typical things that most people do, where it's like, oh, what a coincidence, or oh, that just happened to happen around the same time I had a dream of this, or I felt very strongly this was going to happen. So instead of like giving things an excuse, you believe you should own those things.
Yes, absolutely, except that I don't believe in coincidences.
Okay, that's good.
I don't.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying, but you feel doing those things moving forward will help you spiritually, just your soul.
I think so. I think without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's no hesitation on that part. Is that when you get to know a whole other universe in your mind and your soul, and it exists. And if you are not the warrior or the messenger in many different ways, and it doesn't mean you have to be like how some people are reborn again, and spread the word. They're just different healing powers that you can utilize. But you have to bring it out from your subconscious. And I know that myself. Or conscious, actually.
Right. So I'm getting feminine and masculine energy, because the feminine energy is that intuitive part to all of us. Even men have this, where we are in our feminine energy and we're connecting to that. I feel like other realms where we can't necessarily prove or back up with facts or even logic, but it's our feminine energy. But when we try to block those things out or give it, some excuse, that is like an imbalanced masculine energy coming through, trying to make sense of something through logic. But instead it just blocks out your intuition. It kind of creates a ripple effect. So yeah, especially for people who do have gifts.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
So I feel like,
No, it's just real, like, in a lot of ways, like, how you've developed and brought out much more of your gifts and acknowledge them and, embrace them. And they become even stronger, as time goes on. That I think we all have a tendency towards things in the subconscious that once it's brought out and, embraced in a way, that it can make a huge difference.
Definitely. So now I'm seeing the correlation as like, are your eyes open now, or just to be clear?
I just opened them.
Okay, cool.
Like a half a second ago.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, now I'm understanding the correlation with this past life, even though we were pretty much, I feel like, I don't know about you, I felt like we were just like chilling at your like house that you lived with your grandparents and your child with, and your husband. But he was at work. Like I felt like we literally just went back in time, and we were just having a conversation to get information about this life. Like I don't want to say that maybe not a lot went on, but maybe not a whole lot did go on, and it had to do with it was all around your gifts. Like maybe you witnessed something with your own mother, and the fact that she had to go, right? This is something you said your grandfather said. I almost wonder if you felt like you were a prisoner to your own home, because there was at one point in the reading where I was even going to ask you, are you able to leave? And then I got distracted and asked you a different question, so we didn't get to see that, if you were actually able to open the door and leave the house, because I kind of felt, based off the cards I was seeing and based off the fact that nothing was really changing. We were pretty much just sitting, it sounded like, in a very old house and in a living room. It was very different. And I believe it was intentional, just like you said, you don't believe in coincidences, neither do I. So there was something about this life where it connects with this current life. So what I pick up on from that last life is that not much went on. There was an energy of feeling stuck. There was an energy of not going out. There was an energy of feeling like you had to hide yourself.
Ostracized from the public, yes.
1000%. One of the cards that came up was persecution and acquisition. So,
oh my God.
And that came up for your mother as well. When you mentioned her, like, where did she go? I got that card again. So whatever you went through, you basically maybe changed something slightly based off of what you witnessed your mother go through. So there's a reason why you're living with your grandparents and your daughter, you know? And, you know, even your own daughter says, you can be mean, you know, and I think that's normal for any timeline. It doesn't matter, 2023 or 1809. By the way, that's so crazy how many details we got. Like, wow.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, so, and the fact that out of all the people that you know that are on the other side, you got the most quiet ones, right? So, the fact that you don't speak, I'm getting the masculine feminine energy again. Like, you're staying quiet about feminine-like things, intuition, gifts, abilities, or maybe things that are spiritual to you on a soul level. And you're getting these quiet people from the other side visiting you. Don't you think there's a correlation there based off that?
So, okay, so the correlation is that I have them as my guardian angels, they're quiet. Okay. And because I remain quiet on the feminine part of it. You think that's the correlation?
You may not feel loved or get the love you desire or seek because you're not actually embodying your true energy. You're not putting out there. You're not radiating your true self. So maybe the energy you want, it's hard for you to get from other people because maybe this is like another version of you, what you're embodying right now. You said you're seeing your grandfather, your grandmother. They don't say much. I kind of get that energy from you in general in life. You may not feel the same, but maybe you're having a lot of conversations with yourself every day and you know yourself very well. I feel like you're my mom, and I the only reason I feel like I understand you is because I'm able to channel now. Otherwise, you and me used to fight about this many times throughout my whole life, that I am always opening up to you, but you don't open up to me. So yes. I think that's another message to think about. And what was Kathleen's personality like before she died so young?
Very quiet as a child.
Okay, there we go. So I think, again, I don't believe in coincidences. I do believe all these people were the roles that they played in that life. I think your grandfather was your grandfather. I think there is a chance that maybe he was married to your your father's mother instead of your mother's mother. I know that's so weird, and I don't like that idea either, or that concept. I would rather just believe that everybody's role is the same in every past life, but honestly, that would be a lie. So I do believe that it's either symbolism or symbolic, which it could be. It definitely could be. There is 1000% the fact that they're all quiet people. It's talking about you, and maybe the fact that you are quiet for a reason, but the reason is out of fear, and it's not actually who you are. Huh?
Being ostracized like that.
Yes, and it could be in your mind, unconsciously, because you probably have dealt with something of that level in this current incarnation, because whatever we didn't heal in our past lives is going to seek through in our current life. So it just won't be probably to the full degree that you experienced in that life or whatever you witnessed, but you're probably going to experience something very similar to that. So you probably were persecuted in this life, but in a different way, right?
Yeah, for people at work and, not seeing the real me or taking it so personal. But yet when someone else can say it, it's a joke. But when I say it, it's not. It's like, oh, there she goes again.
So it's like anytime you do open up, you feel
amazing.
Right. But then again, if you're picking and choosing when to open up, maybe the times you're opening up, it's not coming out clearly, or it's not actually, the energy isn't matching your true energy. Like whatever's coming out verbally isn't flowing properly because you're not doing it enough. Does that make sense?
What do you mean not doing it enough, though?
I don't think you talk a lot. I think you keep a lot to yourself. I think things are surface level, and I don't mean that as like fake. I just mean...
Yeah. They are definitely surface level to a certain point with certain people, yeah.
Right, and I think that's normal, but it should be balanced with having certain relationships where you can have personal conversations with, you can go there and have deep conversations without having some type of fear that you're going to be looked at as different or a bad person, or this is going to be used against you. And I think there is this energy every day with you. So anytime you do need to say something, it may cause this persecution energy with you, because it's like you need to practice opening up more so people can understand your energy, so it could flow more naturally. Because picture somebody, locked up in a room and they only come out for 1 hour a day. I'm sure their communication and conversation skills aren't going to be the best. But to them, they may think it's the best because they're dealing with themselves all the time in that room.
Yeah, interesting. I see what you're saying. That's me, right?
I think to a certain degree. I don't think it may be as exaggerated, but yeah. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely see, I can relate to some of that, yeah, without a doubt. Definitely the prosecution at work, always using the wrong times to say something, therefore, people are like, oh, doesn't she shut up, or, that kind of thing. Oh, there she goes again.
Well, what are you speaking up about?
Things that should be spoken up about, but sometimes, the director will get mad because it's a long time. He wants to look so good to the new people. So you're speaking up about things that are argumentative. You're speaking up about things that you feel they can be looked at and seen as argumentative, but you're only speaking up, correct me if I'm wrong, during times of trying to justify things or create justice and balance and all that. Absolutely. The raises.
Okay, but that's not why we're here though as humans and people. We're not only here to communicate during those times, because then you're going to be looked at as that police officer who was just patrolling and thinking they can tell people how things should be done, and this isn't right, because you're pretty much telling people the things they're doing wrong. And even though you may be right and you may have a good cause, think about how it's coming across. These are the only times you're being open and you're showing yourself and speaking up and out. This is why you could find yourself in arguments with people. I think it would be more, probably less arguments if your personality was out there or as loud as you are when it comes to topics of justice.
Oh. Huh.
Okay. Do you feel like you
just speak about certain things, though?
No, I'm not saying don't, but I'm saying balance that. Like, don't just speak up with that. Like, also just speak out and like actually have a conversation with people and show yourself. Be open, because it looks like you're only open and outspoken when it's times to call people out, and people don't like that.
That's interesting.
Is it?
Well, I mean, it is me in a way, but I do speak up other times too. They just don't like to hear what I have to say. No one likes being caught in a lie with some of these people.
People don't like people who are just constantly talking about negative things or telling people the things they've done wrong. But can't you also just like talk in general? Like, it doesn't have to just be of moments where something has to be brought to somebody's attention.
Like what? Speak up when it's just in general?
Like, you seem to only be participating. What else can you be speaking about where people are recognizing and hearing your voice?
Oh, I see.
You see, like, why is it, oh, there she is again. Anytime there's something where justice needs to be balanced, you know, why aren't you also there to cheer everybody on? Or why aren't you also there to support, you know, X, Y, and Z? Why don't
Well, I am. Actually, I really am. I really am. I give a lot of kudos to a lot of people throughout the day.
Yeah, but how is your voice louder?
No, my voice is, that's like an email, like in the public chat room.
No, that's not what I meant.
You know, that kind of thing.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like the energy. Like, where are you louder? And can you balance that?
I have to work on it, obviously.
But instead of pointing this finger as to, well, this is why this happens to me, it's just because I am telling people when they're not doing their job properly, because this is wrong and this is right, and they know it, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but these are the only times you're kind of showing face. I don't think anybody else knows who you are.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore, you're constantly dealing with this energy of persecution. And
that's...
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you feel like you got something out of this? This past life reading was a little bit different. So I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah, definitely with my mother, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Very emotional.
Yeah.
But you know, definitely brought it home to me. And
Good.
then so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And this one was, you know, like the other ones we used to do, like, you know, close your eyes, what do you see, that kind of thing. And even though it was pretty cool, I still have a battle between, am I thinking that when I close my eyes? Am I imagining it? But you always say you can't imagine.
Yeah, because did you know that those things were going to come through? Did you know, like, before this that Pennsylvania was going to come up in the 1800s, and
No.
Scarlet Joe and Anna, Hannah. I mean, yeah, I could see how it sounds like, oh, okay, the two rhyme, but it also sounds like something they would do back then.
Go ahead.
I almost feel like that past life, like, because there was an imprisonment and slavery card that came up, but I almost wonder, it's kind of like, what is that thing that people do?
That's so funny, because one of the first things I saw when you asked about my mother, I think you asked about my mother, Anna's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I said she was away, far away, whatever. Which was true. But she was in prison at first. That's so weird that you said that. But because the end result was that her father took her to a different state so she'd be safe. But that's so interesting that you just said that.
I think in this life, so I think you definitely have phobias that you're bringing from that past life into this life. Okay. But also I feel like it's one of those things where, like what happened, where it's like when somebody wants to help somebody out and everybody's in a room and they're like, we're here for you, Joe. And they're all just like waiting for him to talk about, like, I don't know, his drug addiction or something like that. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
I almost feel like that's kind of what this was. Where
intervention.
An intervention, thank you, that's the word I was looking for. I feel like this was an intervention to make you aware of your phobia with people and why you're constantly finding yourself in these situations where you feel attacked. And it's maybe because by law of attraction you are being more verbally outspoken when you are attacking people, and you're not really just looking at it, you're kind of writing it off as, well, this is not right, and tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong because this is imbalanced, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that you're wrong, but at the same time, there's no justice in what you're doing when that's all that you're doing.
Okay. I accept that.
You have to balance out telling people positive things about them and the negative things, right? Somebody can't just tell them negative things all the time, because even if these things are accurate and on point, nobody wants to listen to that person when it's being said a certain way or done a certain way or on constant repeat. Like nobody, it's like shoving a dog's face in shit. Like nobody wants that. So, that I feel like is the message for you, is as much as you're into this, the scales of justice type of energy, where is it? It's not 100% for you. And I think you believe it is, but it's not. You're kind of like getting it thrown back your way.
Yes.
So I think that's something to think about. That's what they're telling you. And it's like, you have a phobia of people and you keep yourself away from people. You don't open up, but instead, the second you see something wrong, there you are. You're speaking up about that, and you're out in public about that. So that is what creates this tension and problem, and it keeps you in this like loop with people. So I think the way out of it is to be more out there, and you may be more out there like lively with people or want to be more social to a certain degree. If you connect back with your gifts, that may be very healing for you.
I actually agree with most of that.
I think that some of these things sound like, I don't really resonate with that in the very beginning, but then it's like, usually these readings leave you to think, and it's like the more you think about it, you're like, well, maybe there's some truth there. Maybe I can try this out to see if this will work. Because if there is a possible solution, it's like, oh, well, why not at least try it? That's what always worked for me. And like, that's how the whole psychic gifts worked for me, at least, where I was opposed to it, denied it in the beginning. And then I noticed that it ended up helping me heal. So maybe since we're related, this is something that can work for you as well.
Okay. This was very, very rewarding at best, but very enlightening, you know. Did I say that wrong? Yeah, I did.
No, you're fine. Okay. Well, thank you for helping me out. I appreciate it.